Hi guys, it's Tara and welcome back to Crafting with Curly Cues. Welcome to day 3 of my week as the Growing in Unity girl. So every single day this week over on my blog, I have been featuring a product using stamps from the fabulous Unity Stamp Co. And there's also a giveaway, so make sure you head over to my blog to be able to enter that. It doesn't count if you leave a comment here on YouTube, only the blog comments count, so make sure you head over there after the video. So today I am using this gorgeous, I think this is like a hydrangea stamp. It's got this really pretty fluffy flower. This is like Unity has these amazing red rubber stamps if you guys haven't used Unity before. And all their images are just so incredibly detailed and they tend to be really good size too. So, and just tons and tons of variety. Like, so if you've been following my blog this week with the different projects, you can see they're all really different looking depending on what types of stamps you use because they have so many different designers that create for them over at Unity that it's just really, you get an excellent variety. So I'm using this really pretty floral stamp here, and I am using my Misty to stamp this onto some, this is some Tim Holtz Distress watercolor cardstock, and I'm stamping on the smooth side, and I'm using Archival Ranger Jet Black ink, and I'm doing that because I'm going to be watercoloring. So this is a waterproof ink here, so I wanted to make sure that I was going to use something that wasn't going to run when I applied water to it. And I wanted to make sure I used my Misty for this because when you stamp on top of watercolor cardstock, sometimes you don't get a perfect impression because that cardstock is a little more textured. So as you can see, I'm kind of stamping like 2 or 3 times every single time here. So on this one, I kind of put my paper rather than in the corner of the Misty because I wanted to stamp this off the edge. I put it kind of floating on the side there. So I used my pencil to trace around the paper so that when I do my next panel, I know exactly where to put it to get these stamps in the exact right spot. So you can see there that I just lined that up, and now I'm just going to stamp that again. So when you use your Misty with these red rubber stamps, all you do is take that black mat that comes in the Misty out, and then it's absolutely perfect for your red rubber, and you just put it back in when you need to use it again with your clear stamps. So super, super handy. So I'm using my Zig Clean Color markers, and as you can see, I've really sped this up because this took me a little while. I was just leisurely watercoloring, enjoying myself, so I had to speed this up a lot for the video. And I am just doing kind of a really loose, messy watercolor. So I have been seeing a whole bunch of different artists on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube with all these beautiful floral images that it seems like lots of different stamp companies are coming out with, and this gorgeous, loose watercolor look on top of them. And I have just been itching to try it. So I thought that this stamp really lended itself to this type of watercoloring, and I really wanted to give it a shot. So I normally would not use Tim Holtz Distress watercolor cardstock with my Zig markers. I don't personally feel like you get a really great blend, but I'm not really going for a great blend, so it didn't bother me on this particular project. But if I were using like some critter images or something that I wanted to color and really blend really well, I probably would use my Bristol Smooth White as opposed to this watercolor cardstock. But for the look that I'm going for, this works perfectly, and I wanted to use this particular watercolor cardstock because it's really bright white, and I'm going to have some white space left at the end, and I wanted that to be really bright. So I am using a Ranger water brush. This is the Fine Detail water brush, so you can see I'm just applying my color with my Zig markers, and then I'm going in with a darker color and adding some shadowing, and then I'm coming back in. I apologize, I'm a little bit off the screen here, but I am going to fix that in a second. I do notice it. And then I just come in with my water brush and I blend it all together, and I'm not super stressed about staying in the lines. I'm just really trying to be really loose with this, which, as you guys, if you've watched my videos before, you've heard me say that is a challenge for me because I like to be super nitpicky about stuff, but I'm really trying in a lot of different aspects of my life to kind of let it go a little bit, just not be so uptight about stuff. So this is one way I can kind of apply some therapy to other aspects of my life through my card making here, is just to learn to just chill out a little bit and let it go. So now that the leaves are colored, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see how I'm doing the rest of the card. So I'm just going to now take a lighter blue tone, and I'm just going to fill in the space kind of in between the leaves and such, and then around the flower. And then I will take my water brush and I will blend that out into nothing. And so it's just nice and simple, but this is just another way to fill in kind of the background a little bit and make this seem a little bit more complete. So I will apologize to you guys for my fingernails. They are pretty scuzzy. I have had like a really stressful I don't know. I mean, I apologize. I haven't been able to like return comments. I like to read everybody's comments and then chat with you guys, and I just haven't had a chance to sit down and look at any of that lately. I feel very like I'm just having one of those couple of weeks here where it's like it's hard to stay kept up with my own life. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that concept, but painting the fingernails has definitely not been something that I've had time to do. So I apologize that they're ugly. And I will definitely start looking at those comments soon. Don't stop leaving them. I love, love, love to hear from you guys. And it really is important to me. And I really make an effort to make the time to respond to every single comment that I get. So I will be looking at those within the next week or so. I'm actually going on vacation in a couple days. We're going to Las Vegas. I'm going to go see Britney Spears. I'm super stoked. So if there's any other like total 2000s, you know, 90s kids like me and you can relate, I'm really excited. So anyway, back to the project here. I did take a little bit of the colors that I used on the card and scribble them on an acrylic block and add some water and then do a little bit of flicking just to add a little bit more to that background. And then I trim those down to be slightly smaller than the front of an A2 card base. And I am using some grout gray cardstock from My Favorite Things. So this is just a really pretty neutral tone that I thought offset that white panel really nicely. So this is really actually a pretty simple card now that the watercoloring is done. It's pretty close to finished. So I'm just going to apply my panel onto the front there. And then I had these leftover strips that I cut off the front when I trimmed the panel down, and I thought they were just kind of pretty, and so I just decided to adhere it to the inside just to kind of tie things together. So you certainly could skip that step. I don't know. I thought they were nice, and I took the time to color them, so why not? As you can see, I did make 3 of these. So you saw me do the purple one, and then I made kind of a more pink one, and I made a yellow one. Part of my effort to make more than one card at a time. So that was what I did here with these particular panels. And then I am going to do something a little different. I was going to bust out my sequins and put some sparkling clear sequins on here, which is what I usually do to finish up a card. And then I discovered that I have these fabulous micro beads. I went to Michael's a few weeks ago, and like it was like shaker card maker's dream. Like they had so much confetti and micro beads and like all this amazing glitter and stuff. So I had to stock up, and I have never used micro beads before. So I was really excited to find a couple of these containers of all these different colors of microbeads. So one of the colors in here is this really pretty like clear iridescent. And so I thought it would be pretty to add some texture to the top of these flowers. So I took my glossy accents and I just put dots of that adhesive over the top of each one of those flowers. And then I'm just using a coffee filter to catch the extra because these are super, super tiny, these little microbeads. And I'm just pouring the microbeads all over the top of that glue. So you'll be able to see later, I'm going to show you a close-up still photo, and you'll really be able to see the really cool texture and how really sparkly and pretty that is. And I think it just looks really pretty over the top of that watercolor because they are kind of clear and pearly. It doesn't detract from the watercoloring, but it adds like this really pretty shine, and it just makes those flowers seem that much more alive. I don't know, I thought it was fun. So it was just something a little different that I decided to try for today's project. So while I am finishing up here, I'm going to let you guys know that as my week as the Growing in Unity girl for Unity Stamp Co., there is a giveaway. So over at my blog, go ahead and head over there, and for everybody that leaves a comment every single day this week, you get entered to win 25 random stamps from Unity. So at the end of the week, I'm going to draw 2 winners. So 2 people are going to win, and you could win 25 random stamps, and every single comment on each day gets you an entry. So you can get up to 5 entries. So make sure you head over there and check out not just today, but all the other days as well. So you can see how cool that texture is. Like there's that still photo I was talking about. I think it looks super neat. I don't know. It's just something a little different to add to the cards. I thought it was really fun. So that is the project for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget to head over and leave those comments so that you can be entered to be one of 2 winners to win some Unity stamps of your own. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe and leave me a comment, and check out the description box below to join me on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. Thanks, guys. Bye.